Hey folks, and welcome back to Glenn and Adrian's Rock Talk. That's Adrian.
And that's Glenn.
And today, we make our return to the Grateful Dead. It's been probably a few months since our last time covering them. Today, we're going to look at a clip from Festival Express. It's going to be them in Calgary on July 4, I believe, of 1970. Pretty much the end of the tour. It ended up being a shorter tour than it was supposed to be. This was the train tour. Janis Joplin was on there. The band was on there. Everybody was just having a good old jam, but everybody was afraid to take marijuana or other drugs across the Canadian border, so everybody got rip-roaring drunk to the point that, Jerry Garcia never gets drunk, but he remembers that trip as being, the drunk trip. Friends saw him in ways they'd never seen him before or since, because he does not favor alcohol. They started in Toronto. It was supposed to start in Montreal. But Montreal said, no way. They kept trying to reschedule it. And then the city authorities are like, nope, this sounds like bad news. You crazy American rock and rollers coming up here are going to tear up our city. So they started in Toronto instead. And the idea was to go Toronto, Winnipeg, which is way further west. It's pretty far, actually, between Toronto and Winnipeg. And then Calgary. And Calgary, I think it was actually supposed to be Vancouver, which is the very far west coast. So they're doing a line across the coast of, or the southern border of Canada. But Vancouver said, no, not happening. So they had it in Calgary instead. It was beset by protests from people that wanted the concerts to be free, or at least much cheaper than the outrageous $14 for a day price that they were charging to see these amazing bands. Other bands on this thing, they had Buddy Guy, they had the Flying Burrito Brothers, Great Speckled Bird of Ian and Sylvia, Mountain and Delaney and Bonnie. Of course, this is towards the end of Janis Joplin's life, so some of these performances are among her last, well-recorded performances. Today, we're going to look at the Grateful Dead doing New Speedway Boogie. Now, this is a song they don't do that often because I think Jerry said it's kind of a downer track, but he had something to say about these protests. And by the way, he diffused the first protest. He diffused it because there were 2,500 people saying, tear down the wall, let us in for free. And he suggested, why not do a free concert at the park over here? We'll call it the rehearsal stage. And so while this concert's going on over here, all these other performers that are not on yet can be over at the rehearsal stage and put on a show there. So that ended the protest. Jerry Garcia to the rescue, kind of guy he was. But, it kind of got to him, And so by this time, they're pretty much at the end of the tour. They may have had one more day after this. I don't know if the Dead performed both days or just the first. This is New Speedway Boogie, okay? And it's also in the DVD of Festival Express, which finally came out in 2003, 33 years later. Having said all that, Adrian, do you have any questions? You ever seen this?
I'm trying. I should know this, but I'm trying to remember which album it's from. It's either from Working Man's Dead or American Beauty.
It is from Working Man's Dead. Matter of fact, I believe it closes side one. It's a nice little boogie track. But I would say it's probably not the most upbeat song on the album. But this was also kind of one of their songwriters' albums, as you mentioned, Adrian. This one and American Beauty were really the two where they were suddenly respected as songwriters for the first time in their careers, and with good reason. There's some really great work on those two albums, and also some of the live albums that came in their wake. This should be really interesting. It's the Dead at one of their peaks. Basically, summer of 1970, they've still got Pigpen. He's still healthy. It's before the God shows, And even Mickey is still with the band. He would leave in about 6 months, just embarrassed about how his dad handled the finances for the band, kind of ran off with a bunch of the receipts after becoming manager. Can you imagine your dad coming on board of your rock band and then he commits thievery against the band and disappears?
Oh, boy.
Yeah, so that was Mickey Hart's lot at that point. Anyway, they're all here now, so why don't we just go ahead and take a look. an SG.
Yeah.
It's a little unusual for him.
Please don't dominate the rap track. You've got nothing new to say. If you please don't back up the track. This train has got to run today. Spend a little time on the mountain. Spend a little time on the hill. Some things get out of hand. This thing always will. I don't know, but I was told it's hard to run with the weight of gold. Other hand, I've heard it said it's just as hard, the weight of lead. Of any other highway to ride. It's got no signs or dividing lines and very few rules to guide. I spend a little time on the mountain and a little time on the hill. Heard some say better run away, others say better stand still. The horse don't pull, you got to carry that load. I don't know who stacks that stone. Maybe find out before too long. One way or another, one way or another, one way or another, this darkness got to give. got to give. One way or another, one way or another, one way or another, this darkness got to give. One way or another, one way or another, one way or another, this darkness got to you.
Well, the first thing that hit me is that these guys are a lot younger than I've been used to seeing them.
Oh, yeah. They're all in their 20s.
Yeah. Yeah, God, yeah. Jerry's got all black hair and beard and everything, and Pigpen downright looks like a kid.
Yeah, well, you know, he kind of was a kid. You know,
Yeah,
he
probably.
died, he died 3 years later at age 27.
Oh, my.
So he's, you know, he's about 24 there. That's the thing. They were kids. I saw somebody just kind of pondering. Maybe somebody knows the answer to this question. Whatever happened to that hat that Pigpen was wearing that he used to wear everywhere? Is it buried with him, or is it in a museum, or anybody know? I'd be kind of interested to know. So,
Yeah.
beyond that, they sounded really sharp up there. That was a very nice clip. Perfect audio video of a performance of the Dead back in this era, which is only, 54 years ago. Always nice. Always nice. I definitely want to check out more of the Dead clips in here. So I'm not sure how many there are. I think there's only a handful, only a small handful, but it would be worth checking out. Maybe we'll look into that. In the meantime, folks, why don't you let us know what you thought about that, if you've seen it before, if you're already a Deadhead and have been for years, or if this is new to you, any of that stuff. If you know anything about this tour, kind of an ill-fated tour, but it still came out with some great music, let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. And if you enjoyed our presentation, please subscribe. All right. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll catch you on the next one. All right. Take care, folks.
See you all later.